Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Elevate 21, the future of the cloud, powered by Spalding Ridge. Thank you for taking the time to join us as we dive into the topic of transforming your business processes with DocuSign Agreement Cloud. My name is Mansha Monga, and I'm a director in the DocuSign practice at Spalding Ridge. I am joined today by Dan Ritch, who's the CIO of Northmarq. Dan, would you take a minute to introduce yourself and give our audience a background on yourself and Northmarq?
You bet. And hello, Mansha. Thank you very much for the opportunity. As mentioned, my name is Dan Ritch, and I have the pleasure of being the CIO for Northmarq, one of the largest privately held commercial mortgage brokerage firms. And I've been with this company for about 2 years now, and really excited about all the things that we're doing. My backdrop has been through multiple organizations, mainly started out with Perot Systems, which is now Dell Consulting Services, a stint with IBM, and then several opportunities to lead other tier one automotive manufacturing companies, and a stint at Honeywell leading their digital process.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dan. We'll dive right into our discussion today. I know Northmarq went through a significant digital transformation effort over the last couple of years where you really reevaluated how you did business and embarked on a connected cloud journey, which included solutions like Salesforce, Enterprise, DocuSign. Can you share with us today what some of the factors were or compelling reason behind Northmarq's transformation journey?
Yeah, you bet. I think the biggest compelling reason is our customers are ready for change. I think that the financial services realm probably in many cases has been a little behind in some areas. And our CEO, Jeff Weidel, and our Chief Operating Officer, Travis Kruger, knew that in the marketplace, we're seen as, strong with ethics and really great people, but our technology was behind. And if you think about it, technology is so ubiquitous in our daily lives. Why wouldn't it be the same in our work life here? So our leaders saw the necessary steps to take to move us forward. They went out and found a CIO, so I was fortunate for that. And they asked me to take a look at the 3 and 5 year vision, put together where we need to go, and how do we, number one, make the experience better for our customers? How do we make it better internally for our teams? And how do we implement things that we have not had, automation, moving things to the cloud, improving our security, and bringing this organization forward. And that's why I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Dan. I know that, DocuSign CLM, Northmarq had purchased when it was still like legacy Spring CM and was already part of your solution set. And when we think about DocuSign or Agreement Cloud more broadly, typically the first sense or first thought folks have is that it's used for a contracting business use case, whether that's buy side or sell side contracting. But Northmarq has really broken the barrier or that thought barrier. And as we see with some of the other financial services firms as well, they're really using DocuSign CLM in a very unconventional way to help automate document management, workflows, or business processes. My next question to you is really going to be twofold. One, can you talk to us a little bit about why or how you ended up selecting Spring CM or DocuSign to be part of your transformation solution set? And two, how your partnership with Spalding Ridge helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, you bet. So actually the selection of the product it predates me a little bit, but I know that we had multiple solution sets in place. We're using DUV for servicing docs, RadStar for client engagements and client docs, and Tracker for work processing. So the goal was to try to make it easier for our internal teams and have a one-stop shop for workflow, and then take look across the board, look at investor accounting, loan operations, portfolio management, and give them the same tool, the same look and feel to go get their documents as well as to take a look at the workflow. So that was the driving factor. And again, as you mentioned, we started with Spring CM and then was purchased by DocuSign. So that gives us another avenue and an opportunity to improve on the signature side, to add that into our process. And we're starting to take advantage of that now today. The work with Spalding Ridge, I'd say you and your team have been fantastic and irreplaceable in many cases. what I really like about the relationship is that, you've built a good partnership with our technologists internally. You understand our process, where we're good and bad. And then you've applied resource to where we need them. And you've been with us from the beginning when we were moving into the launch and when we launched, and you worked with us many times around the clock. And you've always been there for us. And I think the last piece would be, you strive to make us better. So you give us suggestions for improvement. You don't just take the standard chop that we give you. You kind of whittle that out and make sure we're going in a better direction. So, you have partners, and then you have other IT vendors, and Spalding Ridge has truly been a partner for us.
Well, I really appreciate all those kind words, Dan. Our mission, anytime we're taking on an implementation, and something we like to say rather often is, we're most proud of implementations we didn't do. And so that really, or the thought behind that is that we've enabled our clients and the teams we're working with to really own the solution, so that as you go through your go live process, you have an understanding of what's been implemented to really own it, improve it, optimize it on an ongoing basis as well. And we've really seen that come through within our partnership with Northmarq, and the solution that our teams were jointly able to deploy together as well. That's always kind of our number one goal as we take on any implementation within DocuSign or otherwise at Spalding Ridge as well.
Well, you've done a great job. And it's in my role, it's always great to have partners, because they have your back, and you tell me when we probably should course correct, which is hugely important to all of us.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I know we're coming out to about a year here in August of Northmarq going live with your transformation project.
Yep.
Any reflections or lessons learned or things you think should have been done differently as we think about where you are today now?
Yeah, always areas to improve for sure. I would say, for anyone embarking upon the transformation in anything, first and foremost, make sure you've got your processes documented and come to an agreement as to where you are. It doesn't do anybody any good if one team believes they're fantastic and the other team doesn't think so much. I think you got to find that grounding to understand exactly where you are and measure where you are. So once you have the measurement in place, you can know where you need to go. I think those are things we did okay, and we're still trying to improve upon. So I'd say that for sure. Success for us is building business champions. So for us, we have a product owner, we have business analysts over the enterprise environment, which we use the DocuSign product. We also have that in our Salesforce world and our robotic process automation. Really important to find not only great members on your technology team, but I call them business champions in the business that are willing to be committed to the project, right? They have the time, they have the expertise. And when you meld those in with your technologists, you have a lot of great success. And I'd say last but not least is where we could always get better, but we strove to be more communicative with the business. So we created our own email channel for the enterprise team. We did the same thing for Salesforce. We're doing it for RPA. We roll out what we call Tech Tuesdays. So, every other Tuesday, we give a kind of an example of what's going on in technology. I'm in a business that is thriving. Every quarter seems to be better than the last. And it's just, the market's really good for us right now. Our team members are clicking. So for them to take the time and look and say, why do I need technology? I'm doing great. It's important that we communicate that, I can help you get better. I can help you win that one more deal. I can help you get that deal done a little bit faster. I can help you communicate and find things, because when, the waters start to get a little bit more choppy, how about we have all this information in one common spot and make it work? So communication's been a big thing for us. I'm pretty proud of what we put in place. Always can get better, but I think IT partnerships with you, communication across the board, great relationships with our business and the business champions, and good products will help us find success along the way.
That's awesome, Dan, and some really good insight there. As you were chatting, I thought about one thing that we actually see some of our other clients typically struggle with as well, especially as you're embarking on a journey like this, is the ability or being able to find business champions within the organization as well. Was that something Northmarq struggled with as part of this process as well, or any kind of lessons learned on how to accurately pick and choose who the champions need to be for products?
Yeah, I would say that's a great question. And I put a slide together when we were looking for those folks and talked about, they're really the change agents. So they've got to be committed. They've got to be focused on what we're doing. And you have to be clear up front that there's going to be a lot of hours above and beyond their day job that they need to put in. So if you can find those up and comers that really want to make a difference and want to be involved and want to be a part of that change, that's hugely important. I think you got to look at rewarding them along the way, right? Even simple emails to say thank you. We like to send out our Northmarq mugs to say thanks and say, appreciate, have a cup of coffee with us. So maybe a bottle of wine or two came along the way, right? To make people happy and where they're going, but recognize that they're working above and beyond what they're doing, and they're making a difference. So when we roll out enterprise, certainly had bumps along the way, but when we go back and interview those champions, they were a part of the success of taking a project that was 4 years in the making. We condensed that final timeline in 11 months and went live, and they've got a lot to be proud of. So, recognize what they're doing, thank them for what they're doing, and continuously have conversations with them is the key for the success part.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's the product champions or the business champions are really the one that start to play a pretty key role in the ongoing improvement, enhancements, and optimization of your set of solutions as well. And that to me is like key to overall success and adoption too.
Yeah, and I would say also make sure you find some in reserve, as COVID now comes to an end and we've had folks for a year and a half that learned a whole bunch of new skills. They're pretty marketable, and they find other opportunities. So, we're going through that as well. A few folks wanting to move on, things in their life that they want to change, different locations. So it's important to get those reserves ready and get them brushed up and move them in for the next adventure. It's the next person up, if you will, each and every time. So that's a challenge for us right now, but one that I know we'll overcome.
Yeah, one of the things we say at Spalding Ridge quite a bit is the idea of delegating and elevating too. And so as you are going through large transformation projects like this, and you've identified who your product owner and champions are, enabling those owners and champions to be able to also continuously delegate so that they can continue to elevate themselves within the organization as well. And that's really when you end up finding that next layer or next generation of champions and owners within your organization as well.
Yeah, our next program is to actually build a rotational leadership program where there's a stint where you come in as a business analyst into the technology team. So who better to give you insight than the folks that have been working in the field for a few years, come help us understand what we're doing, and then get right back on their track and take off of where they're going. So they'll have the knowledge, the experience, add a little goodness of technology on their resume through their future endeavors. And so I'm thankful that my leadership team's listening to those ideas. We just had conversations about that last week, and I look forward to bringing in the next round of recruits that may have not seen technology as a path in their career, but hope that we can bring them in and give them some insight and learn from them as well.
Well, hopefully they'll learn some good chops within DocuSign Agreement Cloud as well, and start to really enhance what you all have implemented and built within DocuSign too.
For sure.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Dan, for joining us today and giving us our audience good insight into Northmarq's Connected Cloud journey. It was certainly a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Personally, thank you for your efforts you've done. I know that you've been incredibly helpful to us, and your team's been great. So I really appreciate the time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.